at a personal level, I don't actually believe with what the numbers are being projected by our experts at the academic level, because whatever they had projected, even the experts within our country and also some experts had come from outside the country also. So they projected huge numbers which ran into millions in April itself. So all that has been proved wrong, because everything cannot be calculated with a mathematical projection. This is what I have always felt working in the field of health for almost 4 or 5 decades. But God forbid if we have those unfortunate situations, and if we have those numbers which are being projected by our experts, we should have the preparation. So that's why we are preparing, and we have prepared ourselves for the worst also. Thankfully, our own experts have also revised their future projections now. But in any case, we have to keep ourselves prepared for the worst situation. The good thing is that considering any parameter that we are probably placed at literally at almost number one in the whole world in terms of our approach that we have adopted, and the outcome of that approach, whether it is the number of cases that have been infected, or whether it is the mortality rate, whether it is the recovery rate, or whether it is every day I review in the evening how many patients were on ventilators in the country today, how many were on oxygen, how many were in ICU. And today also, just now I got the message for the last 24 hours is just about 0.35% patients were on ventilator today. Only 1.25% patients were on oxygen, and then only 2.45% patients were in ICU. So that and the very fact that we have a good recovery rate also is almost 22%. Over 6,000 patients have already got out of the hospitals. This also again speaks volumes about the type of care that we have been able to provide to our patients, and also about the early diagnosis and early, you would say, admission to the hospitals. Most of the places where the mortality rates have been high, the people say that it's because of late admissions and all. And then most of these patients have been the ones with comorbidities. Unfortunately, that's why we have been impressing upon everyone time and again that we need to care more about our elderly people. We want that all of us, and more particularly institutions like AIIMS and the leadership there, the people there, they, without waiting, it's not, the AIIMS don't have to behave like routine institutions where they are like any other medical college or any other hospital. They are just admitting a few 100 patients and then doing a 120 tests, and then that's all about it. I think we have to, within say 50-100 kilometer area around us or whatever, we have to proactively define our role. We don't have to wait now, because you have to all get into the job of getting it all finished. And wherever you are, I think, because you see, you have seen yourself that till the time that should have actually come from the AIIMS. Till the time we assigned the job of asking you to proactively contact the medical colleges for getting the facilities started for the creation of the lab testing facilities. And once we gave you that responsibility, you also tried to contact the medical colleges, and within no time we could ramp up our, augment all our facilities for lab testing. Today we have a capacity of 55,000 tests per day, and we are almost doing 45,000 tests in a day. And we have plans to take this capacity up to 1 lakh tests by 31st of May. And maybe I think if all of you become a little more active about it, because the government is very clear that if we have to create the facility, whatever we need for that, we have given enough of money to the states, we have given them enough of, liberty within the National Health Mission, also within the disaster management activities. They can use funds from anywhere, and the government is very clear that we do not want the country to suffer at any cost.